Hi, it's Gil Robles. I'm back and I'm doing, of course, another painting and on Autodesk Sketchbook. This one is of Doctor Strange. Now, I've done the black and white or the grayscale painting underneath, and this is, I'm just coloring it on this video and just using the color blend mode here to go over it and so forth. I'm getting used to doing these paintings first in grayscale and then coloring over it. Before I just went ahead and just went from drawing straight into color, which is what I was used to doing when I worked traditional media. I didn't do Grizel or grayscale painting underneath. I always worked on the color directly. And I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep doing this. I figure don't know if it's going to be a normal routine for me or just one of those things that I do, every now and then. But so far, it's new for me, so I'm just going to continue doing it until I want to venture out and try something else. It's all about just playing, experimenting, and so forth. But anyway, a lot of what I do on these channels is basically sketches. I think once or twice I put on something that's more finished in terms of it's more of a concept, but most of the times, I'm doing these things kind of quick, and so they turn out to be really sketches and not things that are really planned out. And a lot of times, I think what happens is that I wind up getting rid of a lot of the videos or a lot of the drawings or paintings that I've done and not posting them at all, because it's very hard sometimes to just wing it. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. A lot of artists make a good living off of just winging stuff or doing sketches at conventions and so forth. And they're mostly sketches, but it's very hard to consistently produce something that's worth posting. I don't know how other artists work, so I don't know if they wind up tossing some stuff out and then rework, going back and working something more on something more suitable to sell or to sell to someone and so forth, because your name has to go on it, and but that's what sketches are. That's what drawing. Some of them wind up in the garbage. Some of them wind up on a video or in a frame or so forth. But mostly, like when I do an illustration and I have to give this to a client, I can't give them crap, right? So what I do is I work everything out ahead of time. I have in mind what I'm going to do before I go ahead and start the painting. And the more successful, I guess I'm thinking of this because I started thinking about what's most important when you start a painting. And the more you have in mind what you're going to do, the better chance that what you are working on is going to come out and be more successful. You wind up doing sketches and stuff like that, and it's easy, and you can throw those away. However, the more you can think of what the picture looks like ahead of time, you can identify what's going to be your challenges in the pictures. What's going, like, you can identify, okay, look, this is the picture I'm going to do. Well, I got to figure out how these hands are going to go, or I got to figure out the details in this or that or the other, or what's going to be the challenge here. And the more you figure out those things, the more you can picture your painting ahead of time, the more you can picture those challenges and what they're going to be, and a greater probability of success you're going to have when it comes to finishing your painting. Now, the thing is that as your painting evolves, you can always definitely change your mind in regards to your painting. You know, it doesn't have to always be the same thing that you started. You know, in terms of the same thing as far as the picture you had in your mind of it. Even if you work out like a lot of artists work out thumbnails before they go on ahead into their finished painting. But you know what? As the painting evolves, it changes. You know, it changes with you know, just things that you don't foresee, or better decisions that you can see later on down the line in certain passages and areas and so forth. But the more you have in advance of what it is that you want, the better chance that your picture will have of coming out right. A lot of work is just basically abandoned because there's a lack of conception, a lack of an idea of what you want to start off with. You know, you probably have things. There are a lot of images, there are a lot of files, there are a lot of paintings and drawings and stuff like that that are left unfinished because I just abandoned them. There was no sense of what I wanted as far as the finish. I had an idea of what I wanted to do, but not an idea of how I was going to accomplish this. Now, sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't. And the majority of times, it really, really doesn't. You know, you might get away with a half-hearted sketch or so forth, but most of the times, you know, it really, really, you know, I guess you can get into a kind of groove where you can produce a lot of stuff like that. But if you want to do something that's more ambitious, you got to plan it out. Now, when I do these, like I say, these are like quick sketches and stuff like that. I do sketch this out beforehand. I do have an idea of what it is that I want to do. But this is not entirely how would you say, a well planned out thing. This is just, look, I have a general idea of where I want this to go. And the problem is that where it's going to go afterwards, I don't know. So, like I said, sometimes, you know, my paintings I don't wind up publishing. Now, that's not a good way of approaching it, I admit it. But sometimes, you know, what you opt for is just for speed. So, you know, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it up a bit, and I'm going to go ahead and start doing some of these videos that you know, just to show the difference, that are better planned out. Now, it'd be interesting because I don't know. You can leave your comments if you'd be interested in seeing something like that from beginning to end, or whether that be too tedious. Because a lot of it is the thought process. A lot of the painting is sitting on your hands. I had an art instructor, he said, before you start to paint, even when you start to paint from a live model, what you need to do is sit on your hands and think about what you're going to do before you do it. A lot of times we rush right in and just attack the canvas, and then kind of, at least a lot of times as students. Now, but then this develops bad habits along the line. You know, instead of thinking out exactly what you're going to do ahead of time, and going ahead and coming out with a plan of attack as far as how you're going to approach the painting from beginning to end, so that there's no surprises. Now, inevitably, there's going to be surprises. There are going to be things that you're going to want to change while you're working, but as far as you can go, and I remember my instructor using Leonardo as an example, that, you know what, as far as you can go, like Leonardo, that just painting is as much a science as anything else. Figure out what you can ahead of time. Figure out what you're going to do ahead of time as much as you can. Leave less and less to pleasant surprises or happy accidents. Now, they do happen, and people get happy when happy accidents happen, but the thing is that, you know, they're going to be things that you discover as you go along. But plan for success. Don't plan for like just winging it. It's better to plan for success. Just winging it, you're going to get away with it for only so long, and planning it, you're going to develop better habits. So I guess what I'm saying is kind of a confession, I guess. I've been winging it for so long, and good things have happened. I mean, I've practiced. Good things will happen. You practice your medium, you practice your drawing, and you get better and better at it. At the same time, there are things that you can get even better if you go ahead and buckle down and set to a more disciplined approach to doing it. So, again, there are benefits from just drawing, just painting, just going ahead and winging it. There are benefits from that. That's not exactly a bad thing to do. But at the same time, in order for me to evolve as an artist, I need to come up with ways of working where I break it down into the science. Because where does the mastery come in? If you don't master something, if you're just winging it all the time, you're just not mastering it. You're just going with it. There's in any discipline, you take baseball. When hitters come to a plate, they just don't just swing the bat. A lot of us think about swinging the bat when we play baseball. Baseball is a sport that I just know. A lot of us think we're swinging the bat, but when a professional hitter goes there, how he stands, how he swings, the timing, figuring out trying to figure out what the pitcher is going to throw. All these things come into consideration. I mean, as a professional, he has to think about what's going to happen ahead of time before it does. So, with any discipline, I mean, a musician is constantly practicing, so that by the time they're performing, they're not looking for happy accidents. Now, a happy accident can happen, I suppose. I'm not a musician. I don't know how musicians practice, but or how musicians perform. But I see that there's a lot of practice that goes in. I live in an apartment complex where there's a saxophonist, and I hear him practicing on a daily basis to master his instrument. So I know that there's a great deal of practice that goes in, so that when it comes to performing, he's prepared. So that's basically it. I mean, so look for a difference in the videos when I post again. I'm going to work things out a little better and see how that goes. Not that from now for now and then I'm not going to wing it as well. But also I want to take this opportunity to do a shameless plug here. Where I do in fact think about things ahead of time, and I do share my approach, and that video is on Gumroad, and it can be either streamed there for I believe $2 or purchased for $10, and also it is available to my patrons on Patreon, where you can just go ahead and doesn't matter which tier you choose, it is available there for you. So if you're into a more in-depth way of approaching a painting, I go from the initial drawing to color sketch to the grayscale to the color, and discussed it, the changes that I made and the methods that I use. So there, I have done it. I didn't even think about that. I just thought that, at the end of this video, let me just talk about the video that I put on Gumroad. So I will leave links to what the video and so forth. And also, if you don't have Sketchbook, Autodesk Sketchbook, I just want to let you know, for right now, it's free. So I'll leave a link also to the Autodesk website, and you can download it. It's a terrific program if you don't already have it. And it's especially more terrific now that it is free. So, and it's not like there's a free version and the paid version. It is entirely free. So it is worthwhile getting. So like I said, I'll leave a link to that. So anyway, my video is pretty much near at an end. If you have any comments or want to let me know, if you like this video, please like. If you want to, like I said, leave the comments below and let me know anything that you think or about what I said, or if you have anything to add, or if you have a particular way of doing things yourself and you want to be able to share those things, please go right ahead. Go ahead and just leave a comment. It would be very much appreciated, and the stuff that's been shared before has been helpful. I mean, people have shared things from their own experiences and so forth, and it isn't just just leaving a comment. It's been very helpful. So thanks a lot for watching. Like I said, hope you enjoyed, and this will be over soon, and I will see you soon with the next video. Bye bye.